break, but we had an episode come out last week. Saints Block Party podcast, and it is still in the depths of a long football break for most people. We apologize. We were scheduled to have FanDuel's own Mike Golic Jr. join us for this podcast episode. Who knows? Like he still may pop up and join us for the episode. We don't know, but we figured that we got to record. We got to get something out there for the people, uh,
Got to.
regardless, because of the long break that it's been. Give me 1 second. Let me just take a little hit of this cut water.
Mm.
My man Wolf and lovely wife Bree went to Miami to celebrate her
Hey,
birthday. My man got back and
happy birthday, Bree.
a birthday, belated birthday to Bree. Um, so we'll talk about. I mean, we'll talk about the Saints. They announced their training camp dates. 9 open dates to the fans in New Orleans, as expected. No dates open to the fans when they're in California.
Nope.
Had that one pegged. From someone said July is going to be a long month. I actually don't think it's going to be long at like July when training camp gets going.
That shit
July,
fly by, bro.
July,
Have you not paid attention to this year? Like this year is just
Like-
stones.
like tomorrow is July. Tomorrow is July. We are past the halfway point of the year. We're like, oh,
Time is flying, bro. Flying. Like somebody tweeted. I know you don't listen to him, but somebody tweeted today, like that Drake and Future album came out in 2015. Like 2015. What? 10 years ago? Like what is happening? Like that's
Oh
like
my God.
I consider that new music. Like that's new stuff. Like what the hell?
I know, but the Saints camp seems to take forever. Yes, it takes forever to camp to get here, but once camp gets going, it's
Gone.
it happens. It gets going. I gotta. Okay, so I know this is something that's on my radar, bro.
Oh.
It calls me to get upset. Yes, what a time to be alive is that old. 10 years old, a decade, Mark. I don't know if you've been privy to this absolutely insane debate posed on Twitter. That I okay. I'm going to read the tweet. K. Delaney on Twitter has 1 million views on Twitter. I'm going to read this tweet. I'm going to read this to you, Ryan. I feel like part of it stems from a cultural divide. As just a little thing I've noticed. Last night at dinner, my friend posed a truly chilling hypothetical. If you had to give up one of these forever, would it be kissing or sauce?
Kissing or sauce? What you mean sauce? Like
Like condiments, marinara, like a
what type of question is this, man? Kissing or condiments?
like a Bernaise sauce, a hollandaise sauce, a salad dressing. This is a question. Woof. This is a question that got posed at dinner, and all 6 people at dinner chose they would give up kissing and were pro keeping the sauce. Ryan,
What in the world? Like,
have we lost the way, nigga?
you had to lose it, bro. Like,
Have
what do
we-
you mean?
We giving up kissing? We just giving kissing up, nigga. We just giving.
Demolition Man was a documentary. Demolition Man was a documentary, bro. I don't care what nobody say, man. You gonna give up kissing, intimacy. Like just put that. That's intimacy for goddamn sauce.
Sauces, nigga. Sauces. I don't need spaghetti. I don't need syrup for my pancakes. Get rid of it all. We just give it. I don't care. That tells me, you know what that question tells me? Those people have never had great kissing in their lives before.
They must not have kissed like a real kiss.
They are not hashtag real lovers. That's what that tells me.
Absolutely.
Nigga, I saw the question. Do you know how appalled I was for like days walking around this house to Jay? Like I kept saying these niggas really is talking about giving up kissing for fucking sauces? Sauces, Ryan.
Were people under this like agreeing?
Yes.
Like what?
Yes, multiple people, and that's why I say I feel like it's a cultural divide. Because you know what I picked up on. All the white people are pro sauces. All the white people.
Really?
Sauces. Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yes. They pro sauces.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
But yet, so many white people make some unseasoned food. You know, I'm just. But
ain't that something? If you season the food right, you wouldn't need no salt. I'm just saying.
Dropping bars on the podcast right now. I'm just.
Like a good steak don't need no A1 sauce. You know what I'm saying? And I'm someone who loves sauces, bro. Like I love
sauces. One of my favorite things on this planet is CC's tiramisu pancakes. I go to it often. Birthdays, Father's Day, whatever. If someone asks me where I want to go, you take me to CC's. That's where I want to go. The tiramisu sauce on top, heaven. Get it the fuck out of my face when we talking about some goddamn kissing. You think John Bruton talked about some fucking thick Michelin? You think I was giving these for no reason? Michelin lips for no reason. Okay, all right.
And just think about your childhood, man. Like your first kiss, your first time kissing, like. It was like explosions going off in your head, and your body, and it's like, ooh, it's like you gonna get that up for some salt, some Big Mac dip, some Razor Canes, some cane sauce,
some Chick-fil-A Polynesian sauce. That's where we are as a society, nigga. It gets me infuriated, nigga. I get more mad at this than I've gotten mad at anything sex related in a long goddamn time, nigga. Wayne said, "Bring back real yearners, nigga. Like, bring back real lovers." Where did it go? Where did it go? I don't. Just it blows my mind, bro. It blows my mind.
I did not see that one, bro. I did not see that one, man.
All the white people pro sausage, bro. I've seen almost all of them, bro.
Explain it to me. My white brethren,
please. Let's even take the romantic kissing out of the equation. Do you know the feeling, like, as a, not everyone's a parent, but you know the feeling you get as a parent? My daughter, 15 years old, 3 weeks ago, in an expression, gave me a kiss on the cheek. A 15-year-old gave me a kiss on the cheek.
Just make you feel just beautiful.
We just gonna
throw it away.
I bet if you added a addendum to that question, if dog kisses were okay, let me.
Oh, bro, they just be
let me stop preaching on the podcast right now. Let me stop. Anyhow, I was gonna test Golic to see what his answer was gonna be. I was gonna test it. I told our dude Jake, I was like, I think I know Golic's answer.
Man, I'm all them sweets he be posting, bro. Give it up.
Rika said, "Who will our starting quarterback be? Who will be our big body receiver?" Jawan Johnson, obviously. The starting quarterback one is interesting.
That's that. We will talk about that ad nauseum
ad nauseum.
until we get an answer.
All right, let's. I mean, we don't have any plan for this podcast. I mean, I had a plan for like Golic for Golic to come on. I don't have a plan for it really right now. It's all that we could entertain it right now for training camp. Right now, starting quarterback. Who would you go with?
I'm starting week one with Spence, bro. Starting week one with Spence.
Is that who you would start with, or who is that who you think the team's going to start with?
Oh, well, that's a different question. I really don't have like a strong inkling. I really don't. Like my brain is telling me it's probably going to be Shook, but I just can't. I just can't put my finger. I just can't put my finger on it. It makes sense that it would be Shook. It makes logical sense that it would be Shook, just from a standpoint that we know Mickey Loomis wants to see him start.
Yep.
And he's Kellen Moore's handpicked guy. And it's like they need to answer. Like they need to find out. Like they need to find out ASAP if he's the guy or not. But at the same time, it's like if Spencer is like putting it down all through training camp, it's like, doesn't it just make sense to see what you got there and let him get a shot? You know, that doesn't mean you closing the book on Shook. It just means, look, the better man won. This early round.
Right.
And you just keep going. So I really don't know. I really can't say how it's gonna play out, man. I really don't know.
I find it fascinating that I think you could say maybe there's only really 3 true teams in the NFL that have like actual quarterback competitions: the Saints, the Browns, and the Giants. Like, I'm trying to think, is there any other teams? I mean, that's really it. I don't really consider. I don't consider the Seahawks. Like that's Sam Darnold's team.
That's Sam Darnold's team.
Like that's it.
Justin Fields, that's his team.
That's his team.
That's it, bro. And like even the Browns is like, it's pretty much Flacco's team right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure somebody's gonna get in there at some point, but right now it's probably gonna be Flacco. I'm sure he has the edge or whatever. And the Giants, I mean, that can go either way. I mean, who knows how that's gonna go? But you would figure it's gonna be Russ,
right?
At the beginning, So yeah, like it's really the Saints is the only real true cop. Like there's nobody that you could even you really don't know. Like most people just figure Shuck's gonna start. Like most national media, they're like, well, it must be Shuck because most national media just view Rattler as like trash. It's like, oh, we saw Rattler last year, it didn't work, so he's like, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, Mark, that's a good one. Mark said maybe Indy, or is that DJ? No, now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Mark. Yeah, I would say that one it's a true quarterback competition, but it seems like that one is for sure where the front office and maybe even the coaches is like it's handicapped for Daniel Jones.
Handicap for sure. Like Andy Richardson had to come in and just be like, I'm not gonna say he fucked it up, but he already it hurting his shoulder and many times like, bro, it's over. It's over, bro. Like your career not over, but I'm just saying, right, this little stint right here might be over.
Because for him, he's missing time on task, and we talked about it ad nauseum with Anthony Richardson. Is like he's a raw quarterback, and he needs the reps, and he's missing time, and he's not getting the. It's like it's a vicious cycle with him.
He's yet to play a full. He's played 15 games. I want to say he's yet to play a full season of football. And that goes to health, that goes to all that stuff, but it's the quandary of the NFL quarterback development right now. Because you don't get the reps you need to develop, and at the same time you got to win. Coaches need to win. Like Shane Steichen, he like shit. I got to win some games. I might get fired. The owner just passed away, so that who knows what's coming down the pipe. So yeah, it's just crazy. And the Saints in the same quandary, bro. Like they are in this like little mini transition period where they have to hurry up and find out if Shuck or Rattler is a guy, because they very likely will be picking top 8, maybe top 5, maybe top 3, maybe number 1 overall. Like it's not, none of that is out the realm of the possibility. So they need to know if we found a guy or not, And that's just like Al Altbray and what's his name? Kind of was talking about it. Is like, or was it Mina Kimes? I can't remember who I was listening to. But it's like that's just kind of the quandary you get put in, like with second round quarterbacks, like 9 first round quarterbacks. You just kind of, because you're not mentally locked into like you get your quarterback in the first round. You're like, look, I'm gonna make this work. Like, 2-3 years, we're gonna find out. You give yourself like that time. But when it's like a second, third, fourth round quarterback, it's kind of like, I hope it worked, but if not, oh well. Like, it's like oh well, you know what I'm saying? So they gotta find out quick, man. Like they gotta
know.
They gotta know, bro. And I don't know how you event. Like the thing I keep asking myself is, what do they have to see to not make that decision? If the season's ended, you saw a couple of games from Rattler, you saw a lot of games from Shuck, and you're picking, 5th overall.
Ooh.
Like, what did they have to see to say, okay, I'm gonna skip out on whoever's gonna be there? Nussmeier,
that's like
Sellers.
That's Sellers range. That's Nussmeier. That's Cade.
Allard, Drew Allard. Like, some quarterbacks. Probably going some quarterbacks in this game, bro.
I don't think you can. I mean,
who my guy is my Negro QB, Avery Johnson. My Negro right there.
They gotta show. Like I would think, and I'm not. And you got to even be careful with this, right? Because I mean, he got shafted his second year when Matt Patricia was his OC. I mean, you gotta maybe have a Mac Jones type of rookie season before, like, you would think so, right? Like it gotta be where it's like, okay, like if it's whoever it is, whether it's Shuck, whether it's Rattler, you gotta at least feel and see that if you're bypassing, like, man, because those names that you just listed out, if you pass in my quandaries and how I feel about Garrett Nussmeier aside, he's gonna be a top 5 pick. Like let's put that out there. He's gonna be a top 5 draft pick. You have to know. You have to know. And so the only way that you can bypass 3 quarterbacks of that caliber, four, like, I don't, man, that's tough, bro.
It's like, what do you got to see? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like, got to be like Mac Jones territory where you feel like after Mac Jones rookie season, you weren't thinking like, wow, this guy is amazing, but you was thinking like, man, like, give this guy some weapons, some good defense, running game.
You weren't thinking right. Like, man, we immediately have to replace him.
Right. Exactly. Right. You can't like if you already looking for the next quarterback after the season, then you got to move on. You already thinking like, man, we not here yet. You got to move on. Like, that's your answer. Your answer is there. And my other question is, where does Loomis play in this? Because, man, I just can't shake the feeling that Loomis. You think Loomis gonna go rookie 2 years in a row? Like, I could just see him like trying to go trade for a veteran or something like that, man. Just be like, just screw the whole thing up. And you're gonna have cap space. Oh man,
I just think like if they're picking top 5, top 4, top 3, that means they've won like 2 to 3 games in the season. And if they won 2 to 3, maybe 4, like 2 to 3, 2 to 4 games in the season, I don't know if Loomis survives that. I don't.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I just feel like he Teflon, bro.
I don't know.
Unless you hearing something different, I just feel like he Teflon, man. Like
if they win 2 games next season, I don't know if he survives like a 2-win season, bro.
But say they win 5.
5.
You win 5. You can still pick top 5 and win 5 games.
5, I think he's okay. Like,
because Jags won 5 games last year, right? Or did they win 4? Can't remember. I don't remember their record. Anyway, I know a bunch of teams only won 5 games. So I remember the Saints picking 9th, won 5, and there's like 4 other teams won 5 games. But
hell, bro.
But say they win. Okay, say they're picking 6th overall.
Okay,
won 5 games. You know, picking 6th overall.
So something that I think you have to look at it. I mean, it depends on who you're asking, because really it's a Gail Benson question. Like, you're not asking us, you're asking Gail. You're asking Gail Benson, right? Because that would be what, 3 seasons in a row that they've been picking top 10. Because just that Jalen Carter pick, they were picking top 10. Last year, they were picking top 10. So this is multiple times.
Jalen Carter was a top 10. Where did Fuaga get picked?
Oh, sorry, they picking top 10. They didn't pick top 10 for Fuaga. That they picked 14th.
Was it 14? Oh yeah, because they won 9 games.
They won 9 games. They did. Yeah. And they picked 14 for Fuaga, or 13, 14, and then last year they won 5 games, but then Mickey blamed that on the injuries. But then it's like, well, you're the GM, so like the depth is like whose fault is that really? So it's like this, like I don't know how many lives like he has. Like, yes, he may be Teflon, but at some point, like the piper becomes due.
Because I felt like I really felt like this was the year for him to go. Like the fact he survived this year, this off season. Remember there was a short little time where like Gail got kind of ghost, and it was like, everybody was like, well, what's Gail thinking, And we was like, maybe this is the time.
It was the year.
And he came back, had his closed door media scrum at the combine. He just came back and pulled it out of his pants and laid it on the desk. I'm back. And we signed a car. She signed Derek Carr back to his restructured deal or whatever. So I just like to me, I'm just like, man, Mickey Loomis ain't never going nowhere, bro. We stuck with him, man. Stuck with him. Unless it's just like maybe 2025 is like a disaster, like a complete disaster. Like Kellen trash, quarterbacks trash, nothing works. Then maybe I could see like, yeah, maybe Loomis got to go.
What do you say about? So I think it was the Pro Football Power Ranking that had the Saints 31st. The MENA Power Ranking had the Saints 32nd. And I see it in our Discord a little bit. I don't really pay attention to Twitter that much. I'm sure, if I look on, I don't know, Saints Report or other places, I'm pretty sure there are probably fans who may be a little up in the arms about it, of the Saints' place in preseason power rankings, of them being 31, 32, 30, like wherever they're ranked in the power rankings.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy because like I don't remember seeing it like that. Shit, since I can remember, bro. Like Saints was at least always in the mid, just like getting the kind of middling team or whatever. Like to be last, like worst team in the league. But I asked that question like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, who is the worst team in the league? And is it the Saints? Because when you start looking at it, it's like, damn, like even like, okay, you'd be like, okay, the Browns. But they like, damn, the Browns, they got, they still got Myles Garrett, they got a defense, offensive line not bad. I mean, they get some decent quarterback play out of Flacco. They're not good, but they're not the worst. Um, Titans, they just drafted Cam Ward. Like they still need a ton of work. I think, I still think they're gonna not be a very good team. I don't know. I don't haven't seen enough from the coach to believe in him at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but still, like Cam Ward could come in and really change things, like completely flip the script. So I wouldn't even say worse on them. So it's like, damn, Giants got a D line. They got some weapons. Like they get just some consistent quarterback play. They won't be the worst team. They might not be good, but they won't be the worst. You look at the Saints, it's just questions everywhere. Every single position group, there's questions about it. Every single one, bro.
Only thing you can really point out is like maybe like O line. It's always prefaces like with
And there's
if
always
healthy.
prefaces. There's always preface like if healthy, potentially, and they do have potential. Like
Yeah,
they might
for
not
sure.
be the worst team. They really might not. Like if the O line is potentially as good as it can be, if the secondary plays better than we think it's going to play, if the run game is better than we thought, if Kellen Moore is like a good coach, good strategist, and stuff like that, they might not be the worst team in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But like just on paper, if you just standing back analyzing every team and you looking at the Saints, it's like there's nothing to really be excited about. Nothing. Like, from a national standpoint.
National
Like
standpoint, I get you.
as a Saints fan, we gonna find something. Like to me, the quarterback battle is fascinating and all that stuff is exciting. But from a national standpoint, it's like Tyler Shuck, who? Like, who is Tyler Shuck? Spencer Rattler, this dude didn't win a game last year. Like, Saints don't have a quarterback as far as like the national
Right.
media is looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised that they picked, 31, 32 in the power rankings or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not either, and it kind of it's one of those things where I think now the power rankings kind of match what my friend has been telling me. It has been telling me that the last couple of years has kind of has come to fruition. Like
Yeah.
all the moves that whether it's been a Mickey Loomis led move or it's a move that DA had wanted, like you're kind of now seeing like okay, like this is what the ramifications of these moves have led to.
It's like you just seeing them go like this, man. Just slowly just get ripped apart. I was saying the other day, bro, I was like, only a couple years ago, Saints had like
Hold on,
a
Mike
top
just stepped
five,
away.
top. Oh, you did?
Yeah, um, he said internet went out in his house. They just moved in. Yeah, we just hop on. We've been
Okay.
fuck it. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. But I was just saying, like, a couple years ago, Saints had like top five, top 10, a top five or top 10 player at almost every position group.
Take me
You
back,
had Drew
Ryan.
Brees at quarterback. You had Tyron Armstead, Ramczyk at O line. Alvin Kamara, top five running back. Wide receiver, you had MT, arguably the best wide receiver in the league at the time, or at least top three.
Marshawn
Linebacker,
Lattimore, Marshawn
Marshawn
Lattimore.
Lattimore, arguably the best cornerback in the league. Mario Davis, among the top three linebackers in the league.
Jr.
Uh,
Bass. I'm giving the Saints 8 wins. I think Rattler's going to ball out. Hey, if they
8,
8, bruh, 8.
Ooh. That means
They
Rattler balls out.
out, nigga, out.
Oh man, I love your optimism. I love it, bro. I love your optimism. It's hard. How can you see it though? Like,
out.
How can you see 8 wins? I don't know, bro. And then like everybody got better, bro.
Everybody got better.
Falcons got better.
Everybody got
Panthers got better. Tampa Bay Bucks got better.
I would say this, man. I would be more optimistic about maybe the outlook on this team, even just for this season, if they added more juice. If they had added more juice, I think I would definitely be a little more optimistic regarding this team.
No question.
And I
it
think
just feels so thin.
we got Olave, Shaheed, and Cooks, and that's it, bro. And like an agent AK, bro.
That's it, bro. And we just gotta hope like nothing breaks. Nothing happens.
This is literal live podcasting. We are live right now. FanDuel Zone, Mike Golic Jr. joining Saints Block Party Podcast. So we've been podcasting for like the last 30 minutes. Thanks for joining us. You're muted, by the way.
God, real veteran move, showing up late and muted here. I'm sorry, fellas. What's going on?
Man, look, it's the off season, baby. We good.
You're good. Although, I have a test for you, like right off the jump. So right. I went on this rant earlier. I don't know if you've seen this online. I just went on this rant to start the podcast. So this tweet, don't know if you saw it. Katie Delaney put out, her friend poses to her. If you had to give up one thing, one of these two things, kissing forever or sauces. Like, so I'm meaning
yeah,
a condiment, Béarnaise sauce, A1 sauce, marinara sauce, salad dressing, all sauces. Like, you have to give up one or the other forever. Which one are you giving up?
Oh, kissing's got to go.
What'd I tell you, Jake? I was right. Caught it.
I mean, what are we talking about here? You just off rip without even like going into the deep research. Named about 5 different sauces I can't possibly live without.
It's got to be a cultural divide, man. What is it?
It's 100% a cultural divide.
What is that? How can we give up kissing, man?
I don't know, man. I like this could be a cultural thing. I just felt like it might be like a big back thing. Like,
no, it's absolutely not a big back thing, Mike.
Big back, bro.
We all 3 have big backs on this podcast. It is absolutely not a big back thing. Not at all.
You know what? You know what? Then I just have to accept maybe this does draw along cultural lines in a way that, hey, the heart wants what it wants. The heart wants sauce here.
Oh, more sauce, man.
I mean, listen, it's not like you're forfeiting everything. Like, I don't know if you guys are anime guys, but like, there's a whole Dragon Ball Z episode where they tell Goku, like, what, you haven't kissed your wife in a while. He's like, why would we need to kiss? And he's got 4 kids. Like, it's not a ringing endorsement of the romance of the Dragon Ball universe, but it's just a reminder, other things are still possible, but man, it's sauce. It's sauce.
I can't get my head around it. It just I told my friend Jake before this podcast, I said I have a feeling I know how Golic Jr. is gonna answer the question. I just feel in my bones. I know he's gonna answer it. And you didn't let me down. I appreciate it.
You didn't let me down.
Glad to bring the unrelenting caucasity. Caucasus Mountains covered in sauce.
So just getting back to that tweet, I don't know the breakdown of the tweet, but I would assume all 6 people at that dinner were all white and they all were pro sauce.
Oh, I have very little doubt of the hit rate. among my melanin deficient brothers and sisters.
Oh, Mike, thank you for joining us. And just, I don't think an intro like that would ever be topped on any other podcast ever again. Thanks for joining us. Sound like you're moving in. The internet issues, we don't care.
I hate moving, bro.
Move, like it's one of those things that has the highest baseline of suck in life. Like, you know, every time honestly, it's like training camp where you know it every time it's gonna suck up to a certain level. Sometimes it might, go under, like sometimes it might not go much past that, sometimes it might be the worst thing ever. But the baseline level of bad is always consistent.
Always. Never fails. Although I will say, like, you get to a point in your life, like, there are people who still, like, I don't know if you're still asking people to help you move at a certain age in your life, grow up, please.
Last time I moved, I finally said, you know what, I'm gonna pay somebody to move. I'll never go back, bro. I will never go back. I will always find the money somehow to pay somebody to move, because it just made life like 10 times better. Like, moving still sucked, but it didn't suck as bad,
Yes, it is. It is one of the things that once you have that realization, there are few things in life as worth the money as movers.
Yes.
Every time.
I agree. Every time. I guess we should talk about shout out to our dude Daniel for the $20 super chat. Guess we should talk about the Saints at some point. 2025 Saints go. But before, just give you the proper introduction. FanDuel, you doing the show with your dad, Golic and Golic. How's that going for you, making that transition? And how's it just been overall, that transition working with your dad after playing at Notre Dame and then making the transition into broadcasting, radio, and now podcasting?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Dad and I. So the first time we got to work together, like, at all, and realized it was possible, was ESPN calling, I want to say, the Pinstripe Bowl. And we went through, it was a 3-man booth. We got to do it together. We're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, if we got the opportunity. And little did we know, later on, after Mike and Mike ends and he starts doing a morning show with Trey Wingo, I get some involvement in that. And so we've gotten a good foundation of the reps. The difference now in doing the show with Dad, so we're in the afternoons, both of us are fully remote. My dad spends half his year in Scottsdale. I'm out in Los Angeles. And so the biggest hurdle, like all the cool stuff that you'd imagine is cool, right there. Like, I do a show with a guy who's in 2 radio Hall of Fames, who I know the back of my hand, and vice versa. Like, I know where I can go with him on everything. I came up in this industry with him being able to, I always described it like doing radio with my dad early on was like how shooters describe playing with LeBron, where he's like, where do you want the ball? Like, not just like what spot on the court, but like what spot on your body, where do you want me to put it so you got the easiest catch and shoot opportunity? That's how I was getting setups early on when I would do shows with my dad. And so now we're kind of both know where each wants the ball, the stuff to go to. That's fun. Having to do tech support for my 62-year-old father on a fully remote show is, I deserve hazard pay or overtime or something beyond just my normal salary, because it is, and that's what I feel like everyone can relate to. Like, everyone who watches us, we want it to be like, hey, you're reliving a conversation you had with a parent or a child or a sibling or your friend on the couch. Like, that's the vibe that we want the show to be. And part of what my elder millennial brothers and sisters know is that if you have parents of a certain age, most of them have opted out. Like, they're done learning about the stuff that we have going on technology-wise now. Yes. And so that means when something goes wrong, I get the call. And so that part is, me being God's strongest soldier receiving his toughest battle. The rest of it's cool as hell.
Bro, trust me, I know.
The fact that I was able to teach my grandma, who's 83, how to FaceTime on an iPad, like, crystal clear. By the way, Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles as well. If you haven't checked it out, CC's Cafe in Encino. We were just talking about this regarding our sauces conversation before you hopped on. Tiramisu pancakes will change your life.
Okay. I love tiramisu.
Since you love sauces so much, and you don't. will absolutely change your life. What literally like on my list of like best things I've ever eaten, and it's like for sure top 10 or like top 5. What best things I've ever eaten in my life. One of my favorite things I've ever eaten. So check that out. Not a sponsor either, by the way.
Could be.
Saints. We had Mina on here. Great. Talked to her. I feel like there's been a lot of talk about Tyler Shuck. We've talked about Spencer Rattler. We've done that ad nauseum. We have a Notre Dame former offensive lineman on the podcast. I do have a question for you before we talk about Kelvin Banks Jr.
Sure.
What has happened with Isaiah Foskey? Who is Isaiah Foskey? What has happened to him as the Saints drafted him in the second round and 2 seasons ago, and he has not lived up to expectations. Former Notre Dame alumni, and at this point, he's potentially on the bubble of even making the 53-man roster, depending on how this upcoming training camp goes.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was a little shocked by this one. I thought Isaiah coming in just in terms of technical prowess on the perimeter, initial burst, a lot of the stuff that helps pass rushers was going to be in a pretty high floor spot. And again, usually a lot of Notre Dame guys as of late, that's a position or a side of the ball that's been a pretty high floor around there. You've had quality coaching going back for a few staffs now, scheme versatility, all that stuff. And Isaiah was a guy I remember seeing early in his career, and I had the tweets to prove it when all of a sudden he started going off and, challenging the sack record. It's early on, you could see in limited reps when, a lot of these pass rushers, they start off just coming in on money downs every once in a while in sub packages. You could tell right away he had the juice. So I've been a little surprised. I really don't know how to explain it other than, pro football sometimes is tough. And this is a league where, we talk, and Isaiah, I guess, size-wise would still fall into kind of that tweener mode. This is a league that certainly has created a more accommodating landing spot for a lot of those guys. But every once in a while, it can still be a pretty tough business in that. So I'm hoping he turns it around. Easy guy to root for, great dude, but understandably for Saints fans, not the production that you'd expect from a guy that was picked that high.
No question, man. He's been kind of we've been beating on him a little too much on our podcast, but I mean it would be great for him to finally show up, but it's just tough. Let me ask you though, you did when you came into we got out of Notre Dame, I forgot about this. I forgot you had a little stint with the Saints back in 14, 15.
Yeah, I did.
Somebody mentioned that on our Discord. I was like, damn, he sure did.
Yeah,
what was that like?
The funniest part about that, so I'll say 1.5 off seasons because I was there in 2014. I always joke, when I first got to ESPN, actually, they didn't have a headshot to use for my ID badge, so they went and pulled it off Google Images. It was a picture of me from Saints OTAs. And I always tell people, I can point to a picture of when I was in the best shape of my life. Everyone always says that in the offseason, oh, guys in the best. I was legitimately, in the summer of 2014, in the best shape of my life. I had gone to rookie camp with the Steelers before and then gone to training camp with them, playing offensive tackle for all of the offseason program and into training camp. I'd never played tackle in my life, not even in high school. I was a center and a guard all the way through. And I got there and I was like, oh, shit, this is next level. I am not an outside athlete. I am barely an athlete at all. I am an inside guy. Right. And so finally in New Orleans, I come in and I'm playing center. I'm feeling great. And then they signed Jonathan Goodwin from San Francisco to come play center that offseason. And I got called in the elevator to come bring they put you up at the airport Marriott on Airline Drive when you're one of the young guys in camp. And I had walked there. The only 2 places you could go to eat. It was the Subway at the gas station or the IHOP a little further down the street. And I had gone to the Subway at the gas station. I had my Philly cheesesteak. I got in the elevator. I got to the top. I had a message from a number I didn't know in an area code from around there. And I knew that probably wasn't a good thing. So that one got cut short. I came back the next year, had a bad back, wasn't really worth a damn, was basically just camp meat at that point. But, got to see under the hood of, Sean Payton's operation, got to be around a bunch of really incredibly talented guys, Zach Strief, Jari Evans, Teron Armstead was still on the team at that point. Max Unger was over there. Getting to see the way those guys worked up close was really eye-opening. It was a really impressive group of guys to be around who all took the time to help give young guys game. Obviously, Drew Brees and Mark Ingram and so many of the guys of that era of Saints football that were guys I had grown up watching and were great in the locker room and overall a really solid experience. The funniest part was one day they put the last name on your helmet and the back of your jersey and all that when you're out there. And I'm jogging off the field with Teron Armstead one day, and he's like, Golic, you got the same name as that guy on TV? And I'm like, and Zach and the rest of them are like, Teron, you see the junior on there, like that's his son, like right. And he had no idea. And this is like weeks into me being there, and like Teron had been super cool to me, all that stuff. He just had no idea, no care. And that was when I knew I really liked that guy. Still, keep in touch with him every now and then. Like, obviously, just finished up an incredible career. So, a ton of respect for all those guys. They were great dudes.
Oh, man. It feels like, man, that was like, what, 10 years ago?
Dude. And I will never forget two things about seeing, especially Teron up close and personal, just because, obviously, coming out of Arkansas, Pine Bluff, the Combine 40 and all that stuff. Sometimes, like, the Combine stuff, you guys know, can be manufactured. Yeah. We'd be doing the off-season program in the indoor at the Saints facility, and we'd be doing sprints at the end as, like, a position group. And Teron just taking off and, like, going 75%. Is 40 yards ahead of everyone else in the offensive line group, like effortlessly. I'd never seen anything like that. And then we did joint practice with the Patriots when Chandler Jones was there.
Yeah.
And watching those two guys in one-on-one, Teron's feet that was the most impressive thing. Teron had a lot of impressive parts around his game, but he just put his feet on dudes like I'd never seen anyone else do. And he locked Chandler Jones up every day that we were there. It was insane. So, that was a dude.
So, speaking of, like, this current day modern Saints, we both kind of feel like if this Saints team is going to be successful, it's going to be their O-line, right?
Yep.
In terms of they've invested so many first-round picks and high draft picks in their O-line. Like kind of saying earlier, Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck, they kind of get the buzz in terms of quarterback competition, but they drafted Kelvin Banks Jr. 9th overall. We talked about him a little bit when Mina was on the podcast. We've talked about him a little bit, but he feels like he goes under the radar, just as most offensive linemen do go under the radar when they're drafted, like just because it's just the nature of the position. But did you have any impressions of Banks Jr. As a prospect coming out of Texas? And he's going to play that left tackle spot. Fuaga goes back to right tackle. Penning goes to left guard. And hopefully it can be a strength for the Saints offense, for their offensive line going forward this season.
Yeah, and I mean, getting the interior guys back healthy. Like, we all saw what the Saints looked like when the unit was healthy at the beginning of last year. Like, everyone talked about the speed, the downfield passing stuff. I was like, no, it's because your big guys are blocking their asses up front right now. So, I think for Kelvin, my impressions of him were he's one of the most unique offensive line athletes I've ever watched coming out of college. Less of like a direct straight line speed thing and more just his ability. Like, you hear the old adage in O-line scouting is knee bender or waist bender. Like a guy who's athletic enough to drop his ass, get up under people, or a guy that's, a little bit more stiff and has to bend over at the waist to try and get low. His ability to like dip and mirror defenders who are trying to get up and under him on the perimeter, you just don't see stuff like. And that was freshman year, like that was out the box with him. He just walked out of the hospital with that kind of ability, and then had all that experience as a starter. 2020, this last fall, 2024 fall tape for him. a little underwhelming compared to the year prior stuff. I think there were just times where he looked a little bit more lethargic. The feet didn't necessarily look like the guy I had come to see on tape, but at his best, he, in this draft class, which is full of great tackles, is one of the best combination of like edge athleticism, but also the ability to really dig in wide base and get guys off a point in the run game. Like on his best day, there's very little he can't do. It is at times more inconsistent than I liked this last season, but he's a hell of a prospect, and getting a chance to talk to some of these guys at the combine. Really impressive guy, was aware of the shortcomings that he had, dropping his outside foot, talked about stuff that he knew he needed to fix. And so the Texas guys are that group. Sark's done a really good job with that program, talked to Jade Barron, and it's the same thing. You come away really impressed with the football IQ of all these guys and just how mature their approach is. And for Kelvin, that comes with also playing a ton of snaps in college, obviously dealing with some injury stuff this last year that was part of the reason for some production lapses. So overall, guy I was really high on, thought he was one of the better offensive linemen in this class, had tackle and guard flexibility, and glad he's getting the chance to start off at tackle.
Yeah, man. We did like a film study on him a couple of weeks ago. Was able to get our hands on some of the all 22, and I don't normally watch like offensive linemen, like trying to break them down. But like watching him, I actually came away surprised how good he was in the run game, because I expected him to be just more of a pass protector. But in the run game, I was like, wow, he getting it in. Like once he got out there, he was getting to the second level and all that. I was like, okay, like Saints might have something here. And just it was so refreshing to see Kellen Moore come in and not do this play around thing where we're gonna put you at guard today, and we're gonna put you at left tackle, and we're gonna put you at right tackle. They put him at left tackle. They move Pennant inside, move Fuaga to where he's played at originally in college to the right tackle, and let's just see how that works. Throughout minicamp and OTAs, and let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, one of the most, I think for me, what my source has told me, they saw how well Kelvin Banks looked in the rookie mini camp when the rookies come in, and saw how well he looked at left tackle, and kind of just decided right then and there, like, we're not going to do the moving around thing. He looked Stutley at left tackle. We're not going to put him at left guard. We're not going to put him at, like, he's going to be the left tackle, and that's what it is. And the concern that we had initially is that when the Saints drafted him, they had no idea where they're going to play him. Like we were told that, like, they had no clue where they're going to play him. Just thought like he was the BPA. Like they had no clue. Figure it out. But like to hear that Kellen Moore saw how great he looked at left tackle, and that kind of just made the decision like he's going to be our left tackle. Fuaga goes back to right. It's like, okay, like, all right, Kellen, like, cool. And like, listen, like we saw with, obviously, we're not obviously in any way comparing the Saints offensive line to the Phillies offensive line or anything like that. But for the Saints team to be successful at all this season, that offensive line is going to need to be a strength and need to be healthy. Because as soon as they started to get injured last season, the offense started to struggle and everything kind of went downhill from there. And so it's going to, I think, in some ways I feel like they want to kind of maybe recreate, and it's going to be high praise, and it's going to, not saying that they're going to be able to do that, but kind of maybe recreate what they had with Teron Armstead at left tackle and Ryan Ramczyk at right tackle with Banks and with Fuaga, and having like two bookends that you just know that they're studs at the outside, and whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Rattler or it's Shuck, but you know that those two positions are solidified going forward. And if they can do that, who as a team, as an organization, maybe next year that you're looking at quarterback, you're dropping a quarterback in, you're good to go going forward for the future.
Yeah, I think, it's never really been a secret. Football's always been around the trench stuff, but I think that in the last few years, especially in the NFC, like you look around all the contenders in the NFC, it's built right down State Street. And to have Kellen Moore, who just, went through the Jeff Stoutland University, watching how the best offensive line coach in football goes about developing his unit, and that prioritizing continuity, like to your guys' point, having a young guy who doesn't have to come in and all of a sudden start to go, all right, well, now I have to, figure out how to redo my technique to be on the interior, to be on the other side of the line. It's like, all right, biomechanic-wise, my body knows how to do all this stuff.
Yep.
Now I can play catch-up on the mental stuff because as they tell every rookie when you come in, you're already weeks behind. Like just this offseason, forget the gap in experience you have in general, but you're weeks behind on the offseason program. So while you make up ground on that, you're doing things your body knows how to do on both those bookends for the young guys that you need to step up, who can now focus on digesting Kellen's offense, making sure that they are in the right place and making the right calls and doing all those things that are made just a little bit simpler. And like it seems like a small thing and it's pro football, but that's the margins. Like the margins are that small. It's the reason you come into camp and the first thing they do is teach you how to get off at the absolute echo of that go sound of the snap count because you want every split second. It's why no one wears knee braces because all these little things matter. And so, that's a big little thing to me that you got these guys ironed out in one place going through this entire process together.
Yeah, another thing, Kellen's experience with the Eagles for that 1 year, he saw Mekhi Becton come in, a guy who struggled in the league for a couple of years, try to reacclimate his career. And he came in, played the inside, did really well. They won the Super Bowl. Now he went on to get paid. Forgot where he went. On to get paid. Chargers. Now, it's similar for Trevor Penning, another guy who struggled to find his spot, played left tackle, played right tackle. Now it's like one more shot, bro. Like, you didn't get your fifth-year option. They got you at left guard. Everybody's been screaming, like, just put him at guard, like as if it is just like, oh, it's easy to just play left guard. Of course not. But everybody's hoping that this works out. I just don't know what to think. Like from an offensive lineman perspective, how do you think that could possibly work out for Trevor Penning?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no secret. Going down inside is in so many ways easier, especially in the NFL, dealing with the mutants that you have on the perimeter. And so having the chance, we know like the book on Trevor coming out wants to be extremely physical at times to a fault. Like he was a guy that did a lot of wrenching, did a lot of twisting, did a lot of the wrestling stuff going back to when he popped at the Senior Bowl that doesn't always translate, that can turn into a lot of penalties and some of the things that have been an issue. So that stuff is less so and a little muddier on the inside where it gives you a chance to just tee off on guys, not have to worry about managing with big-time athletes in space. And so it's a good shot. And, you've got insulation on both sides now. Like, you've got guys, experience on the interior that you can lean on, over in the rest of the line. And, again, you'll have a rookie to your left, so there's obviously going to be some stuff. But that's also really valuable, right, to have a guy who's got some experience with the vantage point of that position be next to your young left tackle that you're trying to get up to speed. Now, understand it's a new offense for everyone and all that stuff, but there's a lot of reps that even if they weren't great are valuable knowledge that you can help draw on and have as that set of eyes for your young left tackle if that does go well. So there can be that kind of bonus effect of having a guy there to kind of insulate your young guy.
Yeah, it's funny because I won't say he's the key to their offensive line because we don't at some point like last season with Fuaga, like we stopped worrying about Fuaga just because how great he played as a rookie, which I still think how greatly he played as a rookie is kind of like how underrated of a left like he had as a rookie at left tackle. So you don't want to just assume that Kevin Banks is going to be just as good because it's just an assumption. But if Penning can have a good to decent season at left guard, he can unlock a lot of physicality and just bring some consistency to the left guard spot that the Saints haven't had in a while. Lucas Patrick started off the season last year really well, and then he just got injured and everything. There was not consistency with that. So we'll see how he makes that transition. One thing we talked about this a little bit before you hopped on. A lot of power rankings have the Saints 30, 31, 32, which it's fair, right? That's just where they are. But I wanted to ask you, offensive line aside, what is something from an outsider perspective when you just see the Saints team? I feel like a lot of people, even us, including as the podcast, sometimes are, sometimes a little negative with the Saints. What excites you about this Saints team?
I mean,
there it is. There's the side. There's the Saints side. We talked about it. There's that side.
Yeah. It's tough. You can go back and look at the beginning of last year, though, and I think you can just see how much of that will translate over. It's a different coordinator. It's a different set of things. You've obviously potentially got either a rookie quarterback or a quarterback who last year in the limited snaps that we got to see of him had a lot of warts, although I was pretty higher than most on Spencer Rattler coming out of college just because of the circumstances he was operating in. But that being said, I would probably still say on their best day, I'm excited to watch the development of this offensive line. Like, I know we've talked about it a lot already. You can look at the wide receiver room. There's some fun toys to play with there. But for the most part, I look and say, if they can get back to that unit up front being a strength, and they've drafted two of my favorite guys in the last couple of drafts, like Fuaga was one of my dudes in the prior draft, like just an absolute mauler, a technician, refrigerator doing his thing. And so all of that going on to go along with the rest of that group, to me, if you get them and this running game looking like themselves, and if Shuck's out there, like he can be a non-negative in the running game. Like he's not the most mobile, but he's mobile enough to help you out there every once in a while that I think that would probably be the point of interest. Besides that, sigh.
Do you have a preference on quarterback, like, or is it just kind of like, man, just give me the best player? Or do you kind of want to see Shuck? Do you want to see Rattler in there? Like, how are you kind of handicapped?
I would like to see Shuck. Like, he was a guy for me that I knew the reputation of. He was been in college football forever. He had always been injured, never played more than like 7 games in a season until this last year. And I'm a Notre Dame alum and a Notre Dame fan, and all of a sudden I'm watching that game, and he rolls left and uncorks that little sidearm action at the back of the end zone, and it was the meme where I was like, oh, all right, we're doing this, and then you go and watch them play Miami and the shootout that game turned into, and you just see like this guy that profile-wise looks like one of the old like white pocket passers that can't move very well, has all these arm angles that modern quarterbacks have, and he's just got some like bleep you to his game. Like there's a I don't give a damn. Now there's also extreme contact aversion, some weird throws when he does get pressured in the pocket just to try and get that thing away, but can move around, buy time, throw well on the run, and zip some weird stuff in there that just makes me want to see it. Like I didn't. Yeah. I remember watching the rise of him throughout the offseason and the way he kept climbing, especially as we got closer to the draft. And I wasn't as high on him as maybe some, but I was like, there's something there. And so to get to see it where, you've got a quarterback in Kellen Moore who I'm sure loves the parts of him that kind of remind him of himself type deal, to go and explore that would at least be fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I say this about the Saints. We talked about this a little earlier. Like, they're like one of the only teams besides like the Colts, the Giants, the Browns. Like there aren't a lot of true quarterback competitions for this upcoming training camp. Like they have a legitimate, actual, true quarterback competition. It's handicapped towards Shuck. Like the GM wants him to start. Kellen Moore picked him out, but it's a true, actual quarterback competition. So I think that's like an actual, like exciting thing to see how it plays out. But I did want to ask you this, non-football related. What is like the most big back activity that you partake
in? I've seen the shorts, bro. So I don't know.
I was gonna say, like I sit in my car and I review snacks. Like that's probably the fattest thing that I do on a routine basis. It's gotten to the point now where like I think I'm more known for that on my own social handles than I am any of the sports stuff now.
Get it where you fit in, bro.
On our Discord last night, we were up like midnight trying to run down the top 5 Little Debbie snacks.
Ooh, yeah.
Of all time.
Y'all fat motherfuckers. It's obviously a simple honey bun is the answer to the question.
Nah.
Stop.
Mark was saying honey bun number 1. I'm like,
the nutty bar though, man.
Stop. Thank you.
Stop it.
Put some respect on the nutty bar.
The nutty buddy. Come on, man.
All right, hold on. I'm pulling up the Little Debbie website right now. Oh man, the seasonal cakes. Christ on a crutch. Those are nice.
No. Oh, you throw a honey bun in the microwave for 15 seconds?
I give you that. A warmed up Little Debbie honey bun is
elite. It's elite.
Yeah, I give you that. But
all right, ooh, I tell you what, me and the Swiss cake rolls, we got history.
what?
We go back a ways. The biggest back activity that me and the Swiss rolls back as a kid, you know, it's got that chocolate coating on it. Yes. I used to like very delicately go about biting that coating off, and then you unroll that thing and lay it out flat.
That's you an OG. Yeah, that's right. See, I didn't have time for.
Oh, Nick said the.
I was going to take my time.
Oh, the oatmeal pie. Oh man.
To see the oatmeal pie, bro. Like that's a classic.
Oh, the OCP. That's
love good oatmeal pie.
A1 from day one. Overrated for me, Cosmic Brownie. They're like good, but that one hasn't aged well. It's like
everybody was saying that in the Discord. I never had it.
Did I miss this whole conversation last night?
Yeah, man. It was like we were going deep into it, bro.
My
kind of party.
Like, if you ever want to know, I'll send you the Discord invite if you want to talk. Just
gonna be me at 1 a.m. here. Who's hungry? Who's hungry?
We get it in, bro.
Mike, we don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you for settling like two debates for us. We appreciate it. Yeah, everyone in the chat is saying the oatmeal pie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although why is it named something completely obscene? Because it's not called the oatmeal pie, by the way.
Oh no, yeah, it's yeah, I say it's like those old school Disney movies where there's always some like freaky stuff in the background.
Oh yeah.
Like, someone back there in production knew what they were doing. Like,
absolutely.
Little subversion going on. That's all. A little bit.
Yeah. Someone in the Little Debbie office took a hit of the Benjamin Franklin and was just like, you know what?
No, I don't want to call this oatmeal pie. Let's call this an oatmeal cream pie.
It's nasty time.
What freak named this fucking snack?
Someone's in the meeting like, Chuck, it's a family snack. For the love of God.
How do you think this family got here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Alexa, play Freaky Girl by Gucci.
Golic, Mike, we appreciate you coming on. Hopefully this will not be the only time. I feel like we have a lot of good conversations ahead of us going forward. It also seems like our listeners and fans definitely love Jay having on. This feels like this doesn't need to be like a Saints conversation going forward.
I know, right? Hey, man, it's all season.
We'll come in here and chat about life. It'll be great.
Life. But for sure, tiramisu pancakes, CC's, CICI. Go enjoy your sauce and no kissing, apparently. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everyone for listening. We'll be back this upcoming week. Maybe we'll do our Rookie of the Week prospect breakdown this weekend. Potentially, we'll see. 4th of July. Maybe. Anyway, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. With that, we are out.
Peace.